Welcome back into the Rounding Third podcast. I'm Nick. We have Harrison and Sean with us again tonight. How are we doing, fellas?
Awesome.
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
How we doing, boys?
Doing pretty good. Still trying to get over my man cold here, so you might hear a cough drop clinking around my mouth. So sorry about it in advance. But
that man cold's legit. Everybody that makes fun of it, man, that man cold's something different.
Brutal.
I also don't have an immune system, so that also,
also
hurts.
Causes problems.
Yeah. So, anyways, before we get going, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can follow on Instagram. You can also subscribe on YouTube or listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Leading off, Aaron Judge, fastest to 300 home runs, and by a landslide. It was by like 100 games. I mean, this guy's a special hitter. And clearly the best hitter in the league right now. Realistically, what career number will Aaron Judge get to in his career? Now, keep in mind, he's 32 years old right now.
So he's at what? He's 301 now, right?
301.
Yep.
So yeah, just over 300. I mean, I think you could probably like guarantee 400. I would think like definite realm of possibility. Like I would even say like bordering on like I don't know about likely, but like highly possible 450, 430, 450. I mean, I don't know if he's got 200 home runs. At 32. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to see him get to 500, but I don't know. I mean, that would be he would. I mean, realistically, with the age, I mean, he would need what? He would need 2 or 3 more seasons in the next 6 of like 60 home runs.
Yeah.
And then that kind of puts you on a pace to where you can, kind of at the end of the career hit, 15, 20, 22, whatever.
Yeah.
That would be insane. I mean, if anyone could do it, he could do it. I don't know if you could expect it.
Yeah, I think like, on the safe side, he averages, 45 for the next 3 years to get him to his 35-year-old season, right? That gives him another 135 home runs. So he's sitting at 435. Is he going to average more than 45? On the pace he's going, most likely, yes. But, I mean, we'll get to it in a couple of minutes because we're going to talk about how they're pitching to him. But, he's going to average probably close to 50, I would think. But then when you get past 35, you usually, not always, see guys start to taper off a little bit in the power department. So does he get to 500? I don't know. I think 450 might even be a stretch. Like 150 more home runs for his career. 450, he could do it. He's got the talent to do it. But does he stay healthy enough to get there? I don't know.
That's the issue with Judge. He's in the second year of a 9-year deal. He's got 7 more years with the Yankees at $40 million per season. Takes him to the end of his age 39 season where he'd likely retire. These big body players don't tend to age well. They tend to come across more and more injuries. And he's a big dude that's a lot of strain on your body to move that kind of a body around. Playing the outfield. I think if they move him, I think if they get him to be a DH for the last 4 or 5 seasons, you can extend his career a little bit. But I think realistically, he'll average 30 home runs over the next 7 seasons of that career, probably end up at like 515. I think that's probably the high end of where he goes. Honestly, if he can stay healthy, he could be a 600 home run guy. I don't trust that his body holds up.
You think he's got 300 more home runs?
300 more home runs in him in the next 7 seasons?
In 7 seasons? He could. That's what I'm saying. If he stayed healthy, he's only going to average 40 home runs a season to get to that, to put another 300 on top of it. Could it be done? He absolutely could.
But that's averaging 40 into like being 40.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying if he's healthy and they can preserve him to actually get full, mainly full seasons out of him to his age 39 season, could he do it? Sure. He could hit a bunch of home runs. Will he do it? There's no way he'll do it. My guess is he's 500 to 515. That's the best he'll be able to do because he's not going to be an everyday guy.
I'd love to see him get to 5 to 515. I don't know. I don't know, man.
600 is not happening. It's not.
No.
I'm sorry. I love the dude. I love watching this guy hit. But
Dude, I mean,
No, I'm not-
if we're gonna say, let's just say 700. I mean, let's just do that. Let's just say 700 home runs.
Yeah.
Let's get him to 700. 400 more home runs.
yeah, in 7 years. Yeah, not
Yeah,
happening.
I mean, could he get to 600 if he stayed healthy and continued to hit 40 home runs per season? Yeah, at his size in that ballpark, if he's healthy,
Yeah.
it could be
Yeah.
done. Will he do it? Absolutely not, because
All
he
right,
won't be on the field enough to do it.
I'm saying 473 is what he ends with. That's my number.
That's a very specific number.
Yeah, going for it. 473. I don't know. And then by the time, so the way that they're pitching to him now too, like if Sean brought it up before the show, like if the Yankees don't start putting legit bats around him other than Soto, no one's going to pitch to this dude. If the Yankees are in contention and they need his bat down the stretch, it's going to disappear because no one's going to pitch to that bat. Like, it's not going to disappear on Aaron Judge's account. It's going to disappear because no one's going to throw to him. So,
well, yeah, I mean, he'll still go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, how many home runs can you realistically hit when you're just getting the four fingers and the trot down to first base? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the challenging part too, which, we're talking about now, I think is going to be just how many realistic opportunities is he going to have to see the number of pitches, see the number of strikes, have the opportunities to hit all those balls over the fence. I mean, as long as he's healthy and he's in the lineup, he's going to hit home runs. I just don't know. I mean, Soto's up at the end of this year, right? I mean, who knows, what's going to happen there. I mean, it's going to be a boatload of money. Wherever he ends up signing is going to be a gajillion dollars. Could it be the Yankees? Maybe. I don't know. But let's say Soto doesn't. Let's just say for the sake of the argument, Soto's gone. Like, why on earth would you pitch to this guy more than one time a game?
I wouldn't.
You shouldn't.
First at bat, first inning, second inning. If there's two guys on, I pitch around him. If it's 2 outs and the base is empty, here, have your chance. And he flies out to the warning track. Now the rest of his 3 at bats of the game, I'm being careful with him. It's like you do that over the course of 106. Like, how many opportunities is this guy going to get? That's where it's like, to me, it's going to be on the Yankees as well, to be like, we got to surround him with hitters that you can't pitch around this guy and give him as many opportunities as he can to put the ball in seats.
Yeah, absolutely.
The scary thing with Judge is kind of like Trout. He could play a 3/4 of the season, still hit 40 bombs. I mean, he did it last year at 37 in 106 games. Like, if he can get on the field and you can give him some protection, let him hit. I mean, the last 4 seasons, he's averaged 45 home runs. He only played 2.5, basically 2 full seasons and then 2 partials. And over his 7 full seasons, not counting COVID, he's averaged over 30 home runs a year. And 3 of those seasons, he played 100 games, about 100 games. So, I mean, he can do a lot with in not a lot of games, but he's got to see pitches to hit. And if the Yankees continue to build the lineup the way they have, he's gonna miss the next few years of prime home run hitting because nobody's gonna pitch to the guy, and they shouldn't.
Yeah,
they shouldn't.
No. So realistically, I think he's 475 to 490. We also talked before we came on too. Like, he didn't come up till he was 24. You know, and then he also loses 20 to 30 home runs in the COVID season as well.
Exactly.
Right. He only hit 9 that year. I say only 9, but they only played 60 games. So like, he lost a lot of opportunity in that season as well.
He only played 28.
Yeah. So he didn't even play. He only played half the season.
He only played 28 out of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, you take that season out of there, you add another 45 home runs, then we're really pushing 500, like.
Oh, you're at that point, you're pushing.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the 515, 520 number.
Right.
He has a lot of catch up to do. If he what's he at 44 this year, right?
44. Yep.
Yeah. So right now he's got 44. It's August 19th. He ends this year with 55, 58. Now we're going, okay, now that average number is coming down a little bit.
Right.
He has 55, let's say 58 this year. And then it comes out, he stays healthy. Let's say they sign Soto and he ends up with 58 to 60 next year. Now you're back on that. Like, okay, we're up there at 5.
Yeah.
I just don't like. Can you expect it? I don't know if you can expect it. I
No.
wouldn't be shocked.
You're
I
right.
wouldn't be shocked. I mean, he is incredible.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think 500 home runs is within his reach if he can stay healthy and they give him some protection. If they just keep doing what they're doing, he's going to have a tough time getting there. But what's scary
he's going to need.
about Judge is that he and Trout are the same age. Trout's got 14 seasons in the big leagues to Judge's 9.
Right. Yeah, and I mean he's going to need if he has a legitimate chance at it, like a legitimate crack at it, he's going to need 2 out of the next 4 seasons of 60.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Absolutely.
Because I don't know if you can ask a 38-year-old Judge to hit 45 to 50. That's just insane. I mean, again, if anyone could do it, it could be him. But that's insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
All right.
it's a lot. But at the same time, like, you've seen a lot of these sluggers, like Nelson Cruz, age 38, hit 41 bombs. Age 40, hit 32. I mean, can it be done? Yeah, but Nelson Cruz was also a lot healthier generally than Judge was.
But
Nelson
Cruz
wasn't built the same.
Also at the end of his career, Nelson Cruz is a rental player that was constantly sent to good teams that
Yeah.
have lineups where you couldn't pitch around a guy like Nelson Cruz.
And he DH'd.
He DH, of course.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a given. But he was sent to teams that like, oh, okay, like you can't pitch around him. So you got to give him pitches to hit, and then he's going to hit over the fence. If that's Judge's MO, then absolutely he could get it.
Yeah, and Judge isn't going to bounce around like Nelson Cruz is at the end. Like he's a Yankee for life.
So.
He ain't going anywhere else. So, yeah. So that's the Yankees' job, like Harrison said, to build the lineup around him, or he's not going to come close to it.
Yeah. Judge only goes as far as that lineup and his body takes him.
Yeah.
There's no doubt he can hit home runs in bunches.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the MLB considering a 6-inning minimum for. And I'm gonna share with you the parameters of it so everybody can see what it looks like. So this is what the MLB is considering for a 6-inning starting pitcher requirement. So they have to go 6 innings unless they are injured, they've given up more than 4+ earned runs, or throw 100 pitches, 100+ pitches. Sorry. So those are the 3 parameters that you can take your pitcher out if one of those 3 have happened.
So for the record, though, just this isn't something that like is very close to being put in. This is just an idea that's being kicked around at the moment.
Right.
This is not like
it's not set in stone.
No, not even close. I mean, these are just ideas that are being kicked around. So just for that.
Right. So this screams to me that MLB wants to do away with bullpen games. They want to get rid of the opening pitcher. The opener is what they call it. They don't want the guy to come in for 3 batters where the other team sets their lineup to that starting pitcher, and then they bring in the opposite-handed guy, and now you got lefty versus lefty the rest of the game. It takes away the baseball strategy. But to me, that's what this is screaming, is what MLB wants to do. Is like, let's not do the openers. If you have injuries and you can't fill out your rotation, bring up a guy from AAA. Give me a start.
I don't know. It's probably that. I think they probably, I was reading something earlier today about it, and it's like, I also think it has something to do with like, I think baseball wants to make like a starting pitcher a big important position again. Like when we were growing up, like it was like you knew who was throwing, I mean, like you knew every 5 days you knew. And it's like when you bought a ticket to the ballpark, like you knew who was starting. It wasn't like a last minute, we're going to have Brennan Bernardino for an inning, and then we're going to go to Cooper Criswell for 3 innings. And then, we're just going to – you didn't have that. I think they want to make – I mean, if we're paying all this money for starting pitchers and they're making the annual dollars that these top-end guys are making, like I think they want to make the position itself of starting pitcher an important position again. I don't know. I've gone back and forth on whether or not I like it. I don't know.
I mean,
I like the premise of like if you're a starting pitcher, like you have a responsibility to your team, to your fans, to your organization to get out there every fifth day and give what you got. But I don't know. I mean, like, it's a whole different. It's going to be like it's going to be hard for some of these younger guys, man, that like are kind of max velocity guys as starting pit. Like you're going to have to. It's like the whole how you approach everything is going to be different. You now have to like pitch towards contact. Like how am I going to last through 6 innings? Like how am I going to make my way 3 times through a lineup? Like I can't just be like a 1-2 pitch guy where it's like max velocity, get as many swings and misses as you can, you know, kind of max out for 3 1/3, and then we just turn into the rest of it is going bullpen.
Is this gonna turn into some NBA flopping where it's like, oh, I tweaked something in my forearm, like I'm done, and then be like, oh, well,
I mean,
I'm good. You know what I mean? They're gonna find loopholes around it if it gets implemented, but
they will. They'll have to come up with a thing like if one of those 3 things there is injured, right? That top little asterisk, like they'll have to put something there. Like if you come out prior to a 6 inning requirement for injured, like you have to have a stint on an IL or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
Because if you don't though, Nick, you're going to have exactly that.
Oh no. I agree.
You know, and it's like, they're going to have to backstop it somehow.
Yeah.
I'm so out on this. I don't even want to get into the conversation about it. At this point, you should take the managers out of baseball, have AI fill out the lineup card and make the pitching changes later in the game, and just call it what it is. Let's make it a video game, because this is ridiculous. If you can't manage a pitching staff and a rotation, then why is a manager even there? You just took away half of his job, is managing the pitcher through the bumpy stretches. You don't need a pitching coach anymore either, because it doesn't matter what I tell you, you got to stay out there until you get either lit up or hurt. It's dumb. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and I'm 1,000% out on it.
Yeah, and honestly, like on average, when's the last time you've seen a guy make it 6 innings without throwing 100 pitches?
Well, I mean, Blake Snell last year won a Cy Young, pitched 5 1/3. Like, what does that do to a guy like that? So does he? I mean, are you leaving him out there to just like muscle through innings? Like, because although he's at 100 pitches, I guess you can take him out. But like, it's got to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard MLB talk about, and I couldn't be more out on this concept.
Yeah, taking out the fourth inning and MRI machine
right?
in the fifth to confirm.
Yeah, they should just bring the scanning device out to the mound. Do a portable X-ray or MRI on the arm. Make sure they're hurt. Yeah, it's dumb. And you're right, Sean. It'll turn into a game of like, oh, my fingernail's broken, I can't pitch. Like they're gonna come up with all kinds of reasons why they got to come out, and it's gonna turn into a freaking circus.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's we're so far off from this. Like, there's a legitimate chance that this doesn't even get past the initial stages. But this couple stats here I saw on ESPN this morning. So starting pitchers in 2014, so that was 10 years ago. In 2014, starting pitchers averaged 5.97 innings per start, so just under the 6 innings. This season, so 10 years later, that figure is down to 5.25. So it's almost, a half inning down. And even in AAA, it's 4.3. So you're going to have to switch the way that this is done from the lower levels up. This isn't a Major League Baseball problem. This is a baseball. I wouldn't even call it a problem, but this is what baseball. This is minor league thing too.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if it's doable. I don't even know. This sounds like something that someone was upset that they had the over 5.5 strikeouts from a starting pitcher and he pitched an inning and now they're losing their minds over it. I don't even know how realistic this is for baseball to even legitimately consider.
Yeah. I don't know how to do it, because then the strategy's gone. You can't play matchups. I know. I think the whole thing is kind of it's a mess.
I just want to know why. Why did you guys feel like this has to be a possible implementation?
It's 2 things. I think it's MLB trying to get rid of the starter the starter, the bullpen game, and 2, they're trying to force the change in how you pitch all the way back down the system to say, well, you got to go 6, so you better stretch yourself out so you can go 6. You can't throw 102 for 4 innings anymore. you got to throw 95 for 6. Like, figure it out. Like, let's change the way we pitch. So they're trying to basically point at the max effort guys going, hey, you've got to learn how to throw more than 4 2/3.
Do you think this will increase injury or decrease it then? If they have to dial it back and pace themselves out, do you think it would increase the injury or decrease?
I don't think it. I mean, it should
Or does it
decrease
change?
injuries. I mean, if you're not throwing 102 every single pitch and you're dialing it back and actually trying to pitch, it should help and reduce the strain on the arm. But you're also gonna try to stretch guys deeper, which may or may not be a good thing.
Yeah.
And I love this point by AJ in the chat. Like, it's true. I mean, the front offices and the MLB front office is full of Ivy League educated economists. These aren't baseball people making these decisions. They're looking at numbers on the spreadsheet and making the decision versus actually watching the game.
Yeah. So
I would be curious to see, like, I'll try and do some digging, like, to try and find out some actual numbers. Like, the max effort guys, I think, on the surface, it sounds like that these are kind of the starting pitchers that are being targeted on here. But I don't know, like, you still need 3 strikes for a strikeout. And, like, until the philosophy of pitching, like, switches, I don't know how much difference you're going to get. Like, okay, so we're not maxing out on fastballs every time we throw a fastball. We're kind of dialing that back in the first or second inning. Okay, fine. But, like, is our goal still 5-6 pitches in an at bat to strike a guy out? Because if that's the case, it's really not going to change anything.
right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're still going to have, like, the guys that go for swings and misses and nibble and try to miss bats are still going to do, like, you're not going to change much. No. Until, like, the philosophy changes. Be like, okay, we're just going to pound the strike zone and make guys put balls in play. 2 pitch at bats, 3 pitch at bats are going to be, until the philosophy changes fully to, like, I don't know how this changes much.
Yeah, I mean, managers take their pitchers out anyways in these 3 scenarios. Usually it's like the 4, once they've given up that 4th run, it's like, okay, 3, they usually leave them in depending on what the score is. Like 3-1 ball game, you're probably leaving your starter in, right? You're not.
But you give up 3 so you give up 3 runs in the first 6 batters of the game. You can't come out of the game yet. Like, you got to stay in.
Right. But I mean, typically that's what happens anyways. Like, because they try to, lengthen your start so you don't have to burn your bullpen in the first inning.
Yeah, but it's taking the choice out of it. Now you have to leave them in.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's not like a do I or don't I. It's like I don't have a choice. Until he gives up that 4th run, I got no moves.
I mean, we like Sean said, we probably just talked about it for 20 minutes and it's not even going to happen. But it's I just want to know where it came from. That's all.
So here's a question. So you've got a guy who's given up 3 earned runs and he's in the 2nd inning. Like, when do you get the bullpen up? Like, because you don't know when that 4th run is going to come and you can take him out. So you're like, how do you plan for a bullpen arm when a guy's having a crappy night? Like, maybe all of a sudden he gets on a heater for an inning, a third, and you're like, oh, great. Well, I don't need a bullpen arm. Then he blows up again. You got nobody ready because, like, you're trying to play this game of, like, should I, shouldn't I? When might it happen? Like, it's so dumb.
Yeah. It's
just so dumb.
So I don't know. We will see what happens, but
yeah, I saw the question in the chat about Jazz. How long is he out for?
I don't know how long he's out for, but he slid into home, has a left UCL injury. I think they're still doing imaging on it to see. I think they said it's a sprain, I believe is what I saw. So it's nothing.
Yeah, they're saying he's going to avoid surgery, but there's nothing more on how bad it is.
Yeah. So, well, speaking of injuries, we got Austin Riley out 6 to 8 weeks. Are the Atlanta Braves done?
I mean, they were already hanging on, and this is, I think, the straw that breaks the camel's back. I don't know how you lose him too and stay competitive down the stretch.
Do they sneak into the playoffs?
I don't see how, but if they can find somebody to fill that void, maybe they do.
Man, it's been a tough year down there in Atlanta for sure.
I mean, they've only got a 2-game lead in the wild card. I mean, it's hard to believe they're going to hang on to that. I mean, they were already not having a great season with what they've lost and players underperforming, but to lose Riley on top of it, I mean, who's left in that lineup that's really going to add any thump? I mean, other than Ozuna, it's a one-man show now.
Yeah. I mean, unless your guys get going, like Olsen can hurt you. If he gets hot, it's game over there. You know, you got Murphy, Darno, those guys are all power guys, but Michael Harris is coming back, I believe. So that adds some speed and some contact at the top. But yeah, I mean, too many key injuries, I think, for the Braves for them to overcome. I think they do kind of sneak into the playoffs, but I don't see them making a deep run, even with Chris Sale dealing like he's dealing.
Yeah, I mean, in all this, you got Chris Sale, who's still just terrorizing other teams.
Yeah. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, Sean? Do you think the Braves make the playoffs or not?
I don't know, man. It's a tough year, a lot of injuries. It's a team that's got a lot of experience. I know a lot of the experienced guys are the hurt ones, but they're still in the locker room. I mean, they're still kind of around the team.
Yeah.
They got what did you say was 2.5 up on the wild card?
Yeah, the 2 up.
That's a thin margin to hold up.
That's a bad weekend away from falling out.
Right. I mean, it's still middle of August. I mean, there's still 40-something, 40-ish games left. So I think it's an uphill battle for them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be totally shocked, but I'd be surprised if they make it.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
all right, well, it's
going to be a challenge.
So we'll stay in the NL, but news this week that Christian Yelich is succumbing to the back injury, and he's going to have season-ending back surgery. I know they were trying to hold off on it a little bit and just to see if it got any better, and it's not. But the Brewers are up 10 games in the Central, so they're fine. I'm putting them in. I'm penciling them in the playoffs now. However, does Yelich's injury hurt them in the first round? Are they pulling another Milwaukee Brewers season where they just get bounced in the first round?
That's what they do.
Well, right? It's all matchups. I mean, I think it's going to depend on who they're playing, right? I mean, it's a matchup game. I think so, though.
Yeah.
I think so.
I can't even remember the last time they've won a playoff series. I mean, they got up there with Minnesota.
I mean, you would have thought they won like 9 straight World Series the way people think about Craig Counsell, but how's that working out for the Cubs this year, huh? Craig Counsell's really come to town and changed things for them. And the Brewers have just imploded without him. Shocking.
Yeah.
Sarcasm.
Counsell's like the most overrated manager in baseball. We said this back in the spring, but anyways, I mean, the Brewers team is better than expected. They do a little bit everything well, and that's why they are where they are. Losing Yelich hurts, but I do think that team's played really well lately, even without him. I don't know that team is like all of a sudden that much worse without him. They've gotten production from everybody. Losing him certainly hurts. But I don't think it's like, oh my goodness, the season's over for them. They're going to get bounced. I mean, if they get to Sean's point, they get a decent matchup in the first round, they could come in and wipe somebody out. Honestly, and head to head, if they're right couple guys get hot at the right time, they could take anybody down. They've proven that throughout the season. When they're playing well, they're hard to beat. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't believe in them. Like, it's so hard.
No, well, the track record's not good. It's like the Dodgers. I don't believe in the Dodgers in the playoffs either.
So let's see. 2023 lost wild card. 2021 lost the National League Division Series. 2020 lost wild card. 19 lost wild card. 18 lost the championship series. So 18 is the last time they got to the championship series. So they did win a wild card series in 21, lost in the division. And then no playoff appearances between 18 and 2011. They lost the NLCS 4-2.
Yep.
They have not won a playoff series or have not. They've gotten to the NLCS once, twice since 1982.
Yeah. I mean, track record's not good. But this is definitely a different team. The way they've played this year,
yeah,
than we've seen in the past. They are much more resilient, much more consistent. They're not so hot and cold. They were always that team that would be just like crazy streaky. They'd win 8 of 10, then lose 8 of 10. Like, they were all over the place.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, this is a great point too. Every
Yeah.
time I hear laying off back injuries, David Wright. David Wright's robbed of another what if for us for sure. Like
Yeah.
another career cut short. We got robbed of what he could have been for
And
sure.
a player that was just like so genuinely liked by everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We are going to switch to some MLB trivia here.
Oh boy.
I got some player puzzles first just to warm up, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty.
See if I can get them this week.
Here we go. MLB player puzzles. Who is this first one?
Trevor Hoffman.
Trevor Hoffman. Good.
Oh, nice.
Oh man.
Who is this one?
What?
So the lead singer of Queen.
Yeah. No, I'm not hung up on that one.
Yeah, it's she's wearing a fur coat, right? So it's
Yeah.
fur something.
Yep. And she's sticking her tongue out at her, so she's being. He is on the
Rat?
Kansas.
Oh, Freddie
he's-
Fermin.
Yes, good.
Oh, okay. Mean.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Freddie Fermin, good.
Nice job, Ben. Ben got in the chat too.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
Holy cow.
Freddie Fermin.
The hell is that thing?
It's probably something you don't use because you don't help your wife around the house.
Oh, ouch.
Oh.
Vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, but what kind of vacuum cleaner?
What do you mean, like the brand?
Yeah. It's very distinct. Like it's a very distinct shape.
Is it a Dyson? Is it a
Nope. Who's a starting pitcher for the Seattle Mariners?
Oh, George Kirby.
Yes, George Kirby.
Kirby vacuum? Yeah, actually, I lived in
Yeah.
the neighborhood recently knocking on doors. They are hard to
Yeah.
get.
Yep. George Kirby. All right. Next one.
Oh, DJ LeMahieu.
DJ LeMahieu.
Yep. DJ LeMahieu. Good. Okay. Next one.
Oh, is this Lodolo?
It is. Yes. Nicola
Oh.
Dolo. Good. Yeah. Nicola Dolo. Good. How about this one?
Oh, Victor Robles.
Yes. Good. Yeah. Victor Robles. He just signed an extension with the Mariners
He
too.
did.
Yeah, he
Good
did.
move for them. He's a spark plug.
Yeah. Did you hear him on Sunday Night Baseball the other day?
No.
Like he was a riot. And then he's got like one of my favorite baseball clips of all time is in the dugout. He had a praying mantis land on his baseball hat,
Oh yeah.
and he goes out in center field and he's like telling the outs to his outfielders. He goes,
Yep.
he's like 1 out, 1 out, and then he goes 1 out. Like,
Yeah. Shows the praying mantis.
yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, so
he is something else.
yeah, Victor Robles. So focus on the last name here
Oh,
because
Rooker.
yes, Brent Rooker.
Yep.
Good. All right,
Oh boy.
here we go. So single season franchise record trivia. So here we go. It will be by team, obviously. So you'll see how it goes. So the first one is who holds the single season home run record for the Baltimore Orioles?
Is it Brady Anderson?
Chris
No.
Davis.
Chris Davis, yes.
Oh, right. That's right.
53.
He broke it
Yeah, 53 in 2013.
with 297 Ks probably.
It's 296. I just looked it up. All right. Next one. Who holds the franchise record for most hits in a single season for the Boston Red Sox?
Nomar.
No, sir.
I know. I
Get your
wanted it to be,
Nomar
though.
bias out of here.
I wanted it to be most hits. I mean, is it the obvious Ted Williams?
No.
Most hits.
3,000 hit guy.
Wade.
It is Wade Boggs.
Oh, good call. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, 240 in 1985. All right, next one.
Feels like forever ago.
Who holds the franchise record for saves in a season for the Chicago White Sox? This one you have to dial back to 1990, but you'll recognize the name for sure.
Oh, so it's not Jenks. So I was takes that one
Jenks
off.
was going to be my guess too.
Yeah.
1990. Oh, is it Thigpen?
It is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Bobby
Thigpen, yep.
Thigpen, 57 in 1990. Nice
That's a
job.
lot of saves, especially back in
Yeah.
that day when the closer was like sort of official.
Yeah. All right. Who holds the franchise record for most stolen bases in a season for the Cleveland Indians / Guardians?
Lofton.
I want to say Lofton.
It is. Yeah. Kenny Lofton. Good. 75 in 1996.
He was
Also-
he was so fun to watch.
Yeah.
How that team never won a World Series
Oh,
is a shame.
So
we
sad.
we talk about it like
So
once a summer.
sad.
Like, it's such a shame.
The Braves and Indians of the 90s are the
Ugh.
biggest missed opportunities. At least the Braves got one.
Tyler Baseball wants a shout out.
Oh, shout out to Tyler Baseball 9.
Hey. All right. Yeah. So Kenny Lofton. I know that whole 90s Indians team, like those late 90s teams, it's like,
They were
dude,
so stacked.
like what's going on? If I wasn't rooting
Manny-
for the Braves so hard to finally win a World Series, like
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
dude. When Manny's your 7 hitter, you're doing okay.
those lineups were a nightmare with Baerga and Alomar and Lofton and Tomey and
absolutely not. Yeah.
oh yeah, that's right, Bell and then David Justice and his there's like oh my lord, they just kept coming at you.
Paul Sorrento was in there. Like,
Yeah,
whole bunch of guys.
Travis Fry,
All right.
good players.
Next one. Who holds the franchise record for most home runs in a single season for the Detroit Tigers?
K-Line?
Nope.
More recent?
Nope.
Oh.
Before him. Or probably around the same era.
Oh.
Same era as whom?
Like K-Line. It might be a little bit before K-Line's time. Let me give you the years. Hold on. Think of other like big power names for them.
Greenberg.
Yes. Nice,
Oh,
Sean.
Good
Yes.
pull, Sean. Nice one.
Hank Greenberg. Yes. Nice.
58, that's a lot.
And yep, 1938. So I think K-Line was well after that. If I
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's a good ways after
Like-
that. I don't remember. I don't know my years, Nick. So let's not go down that road.
Yeah, decades are
Trammell was going to be my Joel in
Decades
the
are
chat
hard.
said Alan Trammell. That was going to be another one of my guesses. Alan
Yeah.
Trammell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I was going to even throw Miggy out there, and
K-Line didn't start till 53, so Greenberg was 20 years ahead of him.
15 years.
Mantle was retired by then, right?
Maybe. I don't know. All right.
Never mind.
Next.
Inside joke.
Who holds a franchise record for most RBIs in a single season for the Houston Astros?
Oh boy, so many good RBI guys in that. So I mean, Bagwell,
Nope.
Cruz,
Nope. Stay with the Killer Bees.
Bell.
Lance Berkman.
Lance
Oh,
Berkman.
Berkman. Yep,
136, 2006.
good pull.
Yeah, Lance Berkman. All right. Who holds a franchise record for most pitching wins in a single season for the Kansas City Royals?
Greinke
Nope.
didn't. Oh, okay.
He won a Cy Young with them.
Saberhagen.
Saberhagen.
Yeah, Saberhagen. Yes, sir. 23 in 1989.
Looked so young.
All right. Next one. Who holds the franchise record for most home runs in a season for the California / Los Angeles / Anaheim Angels of Anaheim?
Troy Gloss.
Yes, sir. 47, 2000. Good
He
one.
had a lot
Came
of home
relatively
runs.
easy for you there.
Yep.
He
Who holds
had
the
a lot
franchise
of home
record
runs.
for Who holds the franchise record for most hits in a single season for the Minnesota Twins? Don't overthink this one.
Most hits.
Got to be Rod Carew, right?
Yeah, Rod Carew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, say there's it's Carew or Puckett. Like there's really nobody else that I would think of.
200, yeah, 239 and 77.
Jeez.
Who holds the franchise record for RBIs in a single season for the New York Yankees?
Oh boy.
Judge.
Nope.
Gehrig?
Yes, Lou Gehrig. 185.
185?
185.
Oh,
Holy moly!
man.
Yeah, 6 off the
A
record.
lot of stakes.
Jeez.
Holy moly!
Yeah, 185.
185. Holy cow.
All right. Who holds a franchise record for batting strikeouts in a single season for the Oakland Athletics? And I'll give you a hint. This guy is still current.
Really?
Ramon Laureano.
No, that's a great guess.
That
but
is a
not
great
him.
guess.
He
That is
fanned
a-
a lot in that last season with the A's, but it's not him. It is a guy mostly known for his defense, but can run into a few. I mean, platinum level defense.
I'm blanking.
I got nothing.
Third base.
Oh, Chapman?
Yeah, Matt Chapman.
I would not have in a million years thought it was Matt Chapman.
Yeah.
Ramon Laureano didn't strike out more than 202 times. That's crazy.
I know. I know.
He was like really
I feel like he
bad.
had 202 like by the All-Star break.
Yeah, I looked at and
No, I believe you. I believe you. I was just shocked on my part. I believe you.
123 was his most in 2019.
Wow.
That's it. His most was 123.
Yeah, but he also
Wow.
only played 123 games, so he had to strike out a game.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Next one. Who holds a franchise record for stolen bases in a single season for the Seattle Mariners?
Ichiro.
Nope. He is a TV personality now.
Harold Reynolds.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Good one, Sean.
Yeah, 60 and 87.
I always forget Harold Reynolds was a base stealer.
I'm going to be honest with you. If you didn't say TV personality, I'm not sure I would have got there.
Never
Yeah.
would have. I never would have guessed him.
No. That's why I'm the hint giver. All right. Next one.
We only get the easy ones.
Who holds the franchise record for home runs in a single season for the Tampa Bay Rays / Devil Rays?
Well, not a lot of history to choose from there. So
McGriff.
Nope.
Longoria,
Nope.
Carlos Pena.
Carlos Pena.
BJ Upton.
Yeah, Carlos Pena, 46 in 2007. And 25 of those hit the catwalk. So it was a ground rule homer.
He hit a lot of high home runs there. He had a stretch though where he was a beast.
Yeah. I was so excited when he came to the Red Sox for that little stretch. And
And
Yeah.
it was terrible.
then the excitement
Didn't
was
really
gone.
work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the excitement gone.
The Red Sox are great at getting guys that are like no good anymore, like Gagne, Pena,
Crawford, Sandoval.
Crawford. Right. Keep going down the list.
God, brutal.
We love to get him at the end.
All right. Who holds the franchise record for most hits in a single season for the Texas Rangers?
Got to be Michael Young.
Yes, sir.
Say that dude was a hitting machine
Yeah. 221 in 2005. Nice.
and way under.
I can tell you, man, Harrison, the ones you know.
Oh yeah, like I either
Yeah.
know it or I have no idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ones you know.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. Who holds the franchise record for highest batting average in a single season for the Toronto Blue Jays?
Ooh.
We talked about this guy a couple weeks ago.
John Olerud.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
one of my favorite underappreciated players.
For the
Yeah.
record, I admitted the last one. I was going to guess him before the hint, but that really helped me out there.
Yeah. Yeah. John Olerud, 3.
God, he had such a pretty swing, effortless, never
Yeah.
fooled.
Yeah. So that's all I got for this week. We will switch over to the NL for next week for some of those. But
Those are fun.
were pretty.
Is that
those
all
are
American
pretty
League?
Yeah, those. I went down the whole American League right there.
Huh.
So I will go down through the National League. And it was alphabetical order if you didn't notice as well. But you're welcome.
I didn't. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
You're giving us way too much credit. You think we noticed that?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So those are fun. Oh, we got
That was
question in the chat. We do this real quick.
Oh boy.
Real quick, yeah.
Best player of all time and why?
Who wants it?
It's Willie Mays for me. It's not even close. 660 career home runs. Lost a couple of years to the war. Platinum glove defense. Batting average was high. Speed. It's Willie Mays to me. And honestly, I don't think it's close.
All right. So for me, it's Ted Williams, the greatest hitter of all time. Literally wrote the book on hitting. Is at the top of all the records, and he missed 3 prime seasons to the war, which tells me he probably would have been off the chart statistically.
Wait, you knew about the war in the 40s?
I mean, I heard something happened back then. I'm not sure what, but
yeah,
Little tussle.
little tussle. Yeah.
A couple people got angry.
Yeah.
Sean,
I got Ted Williams. I mean, we did the whole bracket thing. What was that? 2 years ago, last year?
Yep.
Years run together. I mean, I to me, it's Ted Williams. I think just to be different, I think you could make a case for Barry Bonds. I think that would make a lot of people upset. But I mean, we've done some of these Barry Bonds stats though. Like
it's gross.
The years where that he did he with steroids, like those proven steroid years, like you take those years out, and he still like first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, still like hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of home runs, hundreds of stolen bases. Like it's really hard to. I think you could make a legitimate case for him. He's not likable, and it's kind of a hot button thing. But I think you take the whole for what it is. I still think you could make a case for him.
You take his 7 MVP seasons out, I think is what it was, and he still's got 450 and 350.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Stupid.
It's silly.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for that in the chat. It's cool.
Love it.
But yeah, I don't have anything else. It was a fairly slowish news week for me. Do you guys have anything else? Like I said, also been sick, so I've been trying to battle through that. But do you guys have anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up tonight?
Sean?
I know you do. I don't think so. The one thing that the 6 inning thing, we kind of hammered that. It's one of those things where the more I think about it, I change my mind so many different times. I know Harrison's like full hell bent, like against it 1,000%. I have a hard time investing so much. Like it's probably not even a thing that's going to happen. Makes for good conversation though. But other than that, I didn't have too much. Watching the Mets. Mets are playing some pretty decent baseball. 2 games out behind Atlanta, making a push here, and see how it goes.
All right,
I think so.
I want to get in this debate with you guys while we got some time here. So I mentioned before we went on air that I heard a hot take on Talking Baseball last week. Trevor Plouffe had said that the Pirates should shut Paul Skeens down for the rest of the season. They're not playing for anything. Why risk the arm? He's not pitching for anything. Other than stretching him out, you're getting nothing out of him right now. You're probably better off to shut him down. So I would ask you two, if you're the Pirates and you are in charge of keeping Paul Skeens healthy and protecting that guy's arm and his career, do you shut him down? And if you don't, do you limit him at all, or do you let him just pitch the season out?
Ask the Nationals how that worked out with Steven Strasburg.
Not good, last I checked.
Yeah,
They held Steven Strasburg out, I believe it's his rookie season or the year after, and we still had all these arm injuries. I mean, I hope to God that Skeens is not, like I said before, I hope we can see one of these utterly dominant guys have a full career with limited injury, like no extended time on the shelf, because I want to see what these guys can put up in a full body of work when their career is over. Because when's the last time we've seen that? I mean, Nolan Ryan's a freak. Yes, I get that. But like Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, like those guys didn't miss time. When's the next time we're going to see that? Even the good ones right now, Clayton Kershaw, like he has missed, bulks of times throughout his career with injury. So like, I want to see a guy that's mowing people down from day one have a 12 to 15 year career with no time on the shelf. Does taking him out now do anything to preserve that? I don't know. I'm not Paul Skenes. I don't know how my arm's feeling at this point. I mean, if he's tired, if he's got some arm fatigue, if he's a little sore, then yeah, you're not in a playoff race. Shut him down. Why not? You know, he's still going to collect a paycheck whether he's shut down or not. So he doesn't care. But do I like it? No. Do the Pirates organization like it? Probably not, because he brings butts in the seats every time he's on the mound. So that's the other thing you have to look at.
Who brought it up, Harrison?
It was Trevor Plouffe on Talking Baseball. Had just made the comment that he thought they should shut him down.
And the Pirates released a statement saying they weren't going to shut him down.
Yeah, I think because that got a lot of traction. All of a sudden, other media outlets were talking about it, and the Pirates were like, "Whoa, hold on."
Yeah, and you're right. And Garrett Cole's missed time too, and he's been dominant. So I want to see a guy with a full body of work. What that looks like.
So do you limit him at all, or you just kind of feel it out? See if he's feeling tired, you give him extra rest and just let him do his thing.
I think just keep him in the routine. That's my thought on it. Just have him go out every fifth day. If he throw him 4 or 5 innings, and if he's having a good start, let him go. If his pitch count isn't high, let him go. Be a manager. Have feel for your players.
Yep.
I mean, that's hard to ask nowadays, but that's my view on it.
All right, Sean.
I don't know. I'm trying to look real quick. I don't know where I can find it. I don't know if you're doing him any favors right now. I mean, he's at 98 innings in the season. What's the most he threw in college? Because I think at a certain point, you're playing a dangerous game. If you're setting that precedent that you're doing that with Paul Skenes' rookie year, let's say next year you have a similar situation with the Pirates, and so you do it his second year, and then you do it his third year. Now you've got a guy who's entrenched in the league and he's never thrown more than 110 innings. I don't know is that something that
he threw?
You're going to need him. Go ahead.
He threw 122 innings at LSU in 23.
Yeah, so 122 and 2/3. That's
okay.
He pitched 85 the year before that. 122 and 2/3 his last year.
Okay, in that last year, and now he's at 98. I don't know. I mean, this guy's your horse, right, for the foreseeable future. This is the guy that's the face of the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is the guy that you want him to make 30-something starts, and you want your team to have an opportunity and challenge to win a division and go deep into the playoffs. I mean, at a certain point, you can't just be like, oh, now we need 180 innings out of you. I don't know. It's kind of like a middleman Dan answer, because I get where Trevor Plouffe is coming from, but it's also that's part of the game. If you're a starting pitcher, you go out every fifth day, you stay in the routine, and you pitch. And it would suck if he gets hurt. Don't get me wrong, but at a certain point, it is kind of a risk that you run when you do that. I don't know if it's. I don't know. I don't know. If they did do it, I know they said that they weren't. They came out and made the statement. If they went back on that statement, let's say 2 weeks from now, and they were like, you know what, we talked about it as an organization. We're going to shut him down because we are out of it. We have nothing to gain, only everything to lose. He gets hurt now. You're missing all of next year too, depending on what the injury looks like. So I would get it. And if they ended up walking that back, I don't think I would hold it too much against them. But if I was in those meetings, not that they really give a shit about what I think, but I probably would question it.
Yeah.
So
I think the question
he
you got to
probably
ask
wants
yourself,
to pitch too. I mean, I think this guy's a bulldog. And I would go, and I don't know this. I probably shouldn't say this because I don't know the guy on a personal level. But Nick, you had said he gets paid either way, so he probably doesn't care. I bet you he does care.
I know. I kind of said that. I said that tongue in cheek, but yeah.
Because he gives I get that bulldog mentality from him. That he's like, that's my goddamn mound and that's my goddamn ball.
Yeah.
I want that ball and I want that mound.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's another thing you have to take into consideration too. If you make the decision as an organization to shut this guy down, are you putting him on the outside looking in? Are you are you upsetting the guy that you want to lead you into the postseason for the next handful of years? Because I don't know if that's a wise move either.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you look at where it's August 19th. He's got 6, maybe 7 starts left the rest of the season. He goes 6 innings in each, say, you're talking 36 to 40, call it 40-ish innings remaining on the season. Like, does pushing him to 130 something?
And that gets him at about, let's call it 140 for even. Call it
140 innings pitch. Like, not a super heavy workload. Granted, he pitched in the minors before that, so his whole body work for the season might be 175 innings. Like, do that, the one thing I go to is do they have like an innings limit in mind? Like, is there a spot they want him to stop? Because maybe in mid-September you come back and say, yeah, he had his innings limit for the year. Last 2 weeks, we're going to shut him down. Like, great season. We'll get ready for next year. But I think it'd be crazy in the middle of August. Like, yeah, we're done. We're going to shut the guy down. I mean, you're basically telling your fans, we're not interested in playing for anything, being entertaining. We're just gonna move on. But it would be a shame to see him shut down. And I'm glad they're not going to. But that is always the battle of, is less pitching better for the arm, or is it just a matter of it's going to happen, and when it happens, and you got to just ride it out?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's no. I mean, we've seen it work great with some pitchers. Remember the days of the Yankees had the Joba rules, where they could only let him pitch so much, and that worked for a lot of years. He stayed fresh, but then at the end of his career, he fell apart. You've seen Strasburg; it didn't work out well for him. A guy like Garrett Cole just missed time, but early in his career, that dude pitched he was out there every night.
I mean,
he
Strasburg
was crazy durable.
They did everything to preserve Strasburg and still couldn't. But they also rode him like a racehorse in 19. And I don't have the numbers in front of me in 19, but he had to have pitched a boatload of innings. And if not, he did in the playoff run there. It seemed like he was on the hill every other night.
Oh, yeah, as much as he could be. So.
But this is where it's hard, too, because there's just so many different factors. Like, it's hard. I mean, it's different body types. It's different routines. It's different. Mm-hmm. Like, just because it didn't work for Strasburg doesn't mean it won't work.
Right.
Or it doesn't mean it will work. And you know what I mean? Like, that's like a dangerous thing to play. Like, you kind of have to tune this into Paul Skeens specifically. Like, this has to be, like, very much catered to him. Like, what does he want? And again, like, I think the mental side of it for the player is so important. If he wants to go out there and pitch, I don't think you can shut him down. I don't think you can say, no, Paul, we know better. Even if they think they do, like, I don't think that's the right move.
No, I think you can be overprotective and begin to actually hurt these guys by doing it. You got to let them play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else?
Last thing for me is the latest power rankings came out. The top 3 are the Orioles, Yankees, and Dodgers. Not a lot of movement at the top. But what's interesting is the Milwaukee Brewers have slid into the top 5.
A 10-game lead in the division will do that for you. Probably.
Well, and they're only a game off of the best record in baseball. I mean, you look at the best record in baseball, and you got like 6 teams all within a game of it. They're all clumped.
Where's Cleveland on the power rankings?
6. Right now it goes Orioles 1, Yankees 2, Dodgers 3, Brewers 4, Phillies 5, Guardians 6. Followed by Twins at 7, Astros at 8, Padres at 9, and Royals at 10.
Okay.
So no arguments there, but you got a lot of teams that are like real piled up into into that group that's fighting for the best record.
John.
Yeah. No, listen. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to comment on this. I just finished the Rose documentary. I'm waiting for these guys to finish it, and then we will talk about it. So we have not talked about it yet.
It's on the docket, John.
We'll be done by next week.
It was awesome.
I shouldn't speak for Harrison. I will be done with it by next week's show. So we could probably pencil it in for next week.
Yep. And then when you guys give me your logins, I'll be done with it.
Yep. I'll give it to you.
Good comment for AJ before we move on. Best bullpen wins it. And you're 100% right. The Guardians have a leg up in that department. And if it becomes a battle of the bullpens down the stretch, it's going to be hard to beat the Guardians. It really will be.
Which it always does become a battle of the bullpens.
That team is
playoff baseball
all over.
Emmanuel Clase is like giving up 1 run like all season or something stupid.
4 runs. We talked about it last week. I mean, Class A is going to
Crazy.
steal some Cy Young votes because he's been that good this year. Just
Yeah.
absolutely lights out. That
Nuts.
Guardians team is so good top to bottom.
So
Sure are.
And Stephen Vogt has settled right in as a manager.
I'll take a second to talk about my Diamondbacks because Ketel Marte just went on the IL because he re-aggravated that ankle yesterday.
Yeah, that
So
one hurts.
that hurts a lot. Hurts his MVP chances if he had any to begin with. But
Yeah,
I still don't know what to think about my Diamondbacks. Brandon McCarthy at the top, or Jake McCarthy at the top of that lineup was red hot for like 3 weeks. He hit like almost 500. But Diamondbacks still got some questions. I don't know if they quite got it this year, but
Yeah,
they're still fun to watch. I love watching them.
And don't look now. The Seattle Mariners are slowly falling out of it. The Astros are just continuing to just begin to create some space and distance. And Justin Verlander comes back. So the Astros are going to just get better down the stretch.
Yeah.
Nick, I think we saw it last year with Arizona. You get hot at the right time. I mean, I'm with you.
Absolutely.
Really slow start. Kind of obviously, I think you could probably attribute it to a bit of a hangover type thing from how last year ended. But they're firmly kind of in that second wild card spot. I mean, they're 2.5 up on Atlanta. So what would that put them? 4.5 up over New York. Like, they kind of got a bit of I wouldn't call it a stranglehold just yet, but they're sitting pretty good. Kind of well within that wild card spot.
Yeah.
It's a team, and it's a manager that knows how to manage in the postseason.
Yeah.
We saw it. Lovello did a really nice job last year. They were playing good baseball, but to go into Philly the way that they did and play those big, important, like stressful games and on the road, and I think that counts for something.
For sure.
It's not necessarily a team that I would be stoked about playing against.
No.
Come that first round in the postseason.
Anybody can beat them. Like Kevin Newman is their utility infield, and he is disgusting. He is so good. He's come up so big for them, and he's gonna pencil into that second base spot with Marte out, and they're not gonna miss a beat. It's hard to
he's
replace
an MVP candidate. I mean,
I was gonna say,
but I hear you.
It's hard to replace Ketel Marte for sure, but there's other guys in that lineup that can just absolutely punish you. And it's a different guy every night. The Diamondbacks problem is they score 5 runs in the second inning or the fourth inning, and then they're done for the game. They score a ton of runs in one inning, and then that's
one and done.
Yeah. So that's the one thing that kind of hurts them. But
and in the sad news, the Chicago White Sox did get eliminated from the playoffs, which was shocking.
Speechless.
Yeah, earliest elimination in baseball history, because it makes sense because they're going to be one of the worst teams in baseball history.
Was it officially the earliest?
It was
before
the earliest.
the Mets.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep, it was officially the earliest
Yikes.
elimination in history.
That is horrendous.
I mean, but you look at it, they're only 42.5 games out in the division and 39.5 games out in the wild card.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Those numbers are mind-boggling to be that far out.
42. Wow.
It's awful.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, fellas?
That's it.
I'm good.
All right. Yeah, John, we will get on the Pete Rose documentary. I'll probably watch it again. It was good. It was really good. And I have some thoughts. So we'll definitely talk about that next week. I already put it on the list for next week. So I'll get Harrison the login. We'll get him watching the Rose documentary. It's nice. It's just 4-hour-long episodes. It's definitely worth the watch. It's worth it. So yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. But before you go, just to make sure that you follow and like us on Facebook, you can follow us on Instagram. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can share our reels, comment on our reels. We're very responsive to those. And if you guys want to leg up on the trivia questions, we post those to Facebook and YouTube as well too. So you can be the first one to answer and give them the right answer. So we appreciate all the support from everybody and coming to see us every week to talk about the game we love. So we will be back next Monday